Welcome to Not So Mad Conversations, where we examine systems, we reclaim our voice, and we realign with purpose. I'm Dawn Sanders, and I am your self proclaimed corporate shero. And I want to start this conversation by asking you a question. How do you know when you are no longer stressed but clinically strained? Let me level set because I know many of you, especially those like me, who are high performers, oftentimes we will um, normalize dysfunction. We'll normalize it. We'll call it pressure, we'll call it responsibility, or even times we'll call it leadership. But what I'm learning, especially in this season of my life, there are some symptoms that you just simply cannot ignore. And that includes impaired concentration. I mean, you just, for no reason, and no matter what you do, you cannot concentrate on anything. Also, reduced executive functioning. You go on a job every day, you show up ready, but you just cannot kickstart into gear and get things going. Sleep deprivation, sleep disruption. You lay down, you go to sleep, you wake up tired. You get 1 hour, you get a half an hour here, maybe 2 hours, yet you just simply cannot get rest. You become hypervigilant, always on guard, ready to fight or flight. You obtain or you get cognitive fatigue, where you just can't think. Your mind is foggy, your thoughts are foggy, you can't even form a sentence. You have panic responses under high demand. See, these are things that happen, and we go so long, it becomes a repeated pattern in our lives. And so, if you're like me and your job requires sustained analytical reasoning and complex decision making, even executive communication, and you can't sustain focus without exhaustion, that ain't laziness. That is not laziness. You're not being lazy. That's your nervous system speaking to you. That's a dysregulated nervous system that is screaming out to you. And so here's some insight. Here's some things that I've learned. I've learned that you cannot out-discipline your nervous system. You cannot out-discipline nervous system overload. I don't care what you do. You can't productively hack trauma. You can't pray while ignoring uh, physiological change in your body. Trust me, I've done it all. I tried to get the best discipline. If I structure my day, if I do this and do that, I try to hack trauma. All right, let's get these life hacks and give me a little bit more vitamin D. So this attitude will be right. And oftentimes I try to pray it away. But your body will tell the truth. It'll tell the truth before your ego do. If your clarity is compromised, your first responsibility is not performance. It's not performance, it's stabilization. You got to stabilize yourself. Trust me, I'm telling you, I know what I'm talking about. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to first document the symptoms that you're feeling. And I want you to be honest about it. I want you to identify the patterns, the emotions, what you're experiencing. And second, I want you to seek evaluation. Having a therapist, a life coach, a psychiatrist, a psychologist, that's not weakness. That's data gathering. Then I want you to reduce the cognitive demand on your life. I want you to reduce it at least temporarily, even if that means taking FMLA, even if that means short-term disability. It might even mean a structured leave. Listen, you deserve it. God has created us to be stewards over this temple. And many of us will allow ourselves to be deceived into believing that we're supposed to just endure to the end. Sometimes it requires rest. And you're not stepping back because you're incapable. You're stepping back because clarity is required for leadership. Here's the boundary. If the environment that you are in is contributing to chronic dysregulation and no structural change is possible, your responsibility shifts from adaptation to protection. God is not the author of confusion. Chronic confusion, constant fight or flight, and sustained mental strain, they're not badges of honor. They're indicators. Your strength is not proven by endurance. It's proven by stewardship. We must steward well. So here's the action that I have for you this week. I want you to assess your symptoms. I want you to rate your cognitive clarity, and I want you to be honest. I want you to identify whether the strain is situational or systemic. Then I want you to take one stabilizing action. Clarity is not optional for your calling. Protecting your mind is leadership. This is not about being mad. It's about being awakened. From corporate warfare to kingdom purpose, y'all, we rise with clarity. I'll see you in the next conversation. Be blessed.